welcome to episode 12 of Cougars on Cougars. This is our last episode with an actual basketball game to talk about for a while.
I'm not ready to talk about that yet.
Well, we have to. What's our quote of the week? It has to do with that.
This comes from Lon Kruger,
Who can relate well.
Former buddy at UNLV and now at Oklahoma. He says, prepare for every game like you just lost your last game.
And we did.
And we did. A lot of teams did. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind during the off season.
Yeah.
You know, lose your last game, you work hard. Hopefully you didn't lose as bad as Oklahoma did, which we didn't.
Hey, whatever.
But yeah, hopefully the guys are working hard already, getting ready for our next game.
Yep. All right, so we are going to get into our contest. We are giving away a signed photo of Coach Rose, who got us another 20-plus win season. 26, I think, was
26 wins.
Solid. It's solid. So the winner of that contest is Jed Pollock, and his Twitter handle is at JP Pollock, and it made us laugh out loud. And a lot of people liked it, but he said for Jimmer talking to Chase, he said that Jimmer was saying, I canceled Whitney's credit cards.
It's still funny.
We don't need to expound on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but we so congratulations to Jed, but we got some other good ones that we wanted to share for fun.
Yep, one came from Pat, Crazy Hoop Fanatic on Twitter, and she says, bro, nunchuck skills, bow hunting skills, computer hacking skills, girls saying want boyfriends who have great skills. Or
we
wives,
love
I guess.
the Napoleon Dynamite in there from Pat. This one came from Scoot at Notorious BOD. He said, give me 5. On the side. Up high. Down low. Too slow, bro. Which, you know, I wouldn't put it past Jimmer.
Yeah. That would be the type of joke Jimmer has.
Exactly.
Actually. Joe at JSJ35 on Twitter says, you win this and the Cougar tails are on me.
If only.
Does Chase eat cougar tails?
I bet no.
I bet he's never had a cougar tail.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's too bad.
Still funny. He's missing out. More for us. This is from our favorite uncle, Uncle Pat at Haas P. He said, they said you and I should play D. Ouch.
Oh, man, so funny.
It's funny because it's true.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a good one. At Big Uncle Pooh says, Nick just wants more pudding out of his pudding cup.
He is kind of oblivious to that whole conversation.
Yeah, a little disinterested.
All about the snack pack. And then this one came from BY. Okay, the handle is at BYU Freak. And he said, knock, knock, who's there? Canoe who? Can you help me with my homework? Nick wishing he didn't have 3 more years of homework.
Chase is done.
He's
Chase
done.
and Kyle. Well, I guess they have a few more weeks of school,
but Chase had a breeze of a semester, so
yeah, true.
Maybe that is what Nick is pondering while he eats his snack pack.
So thanks to everybody that sent in captions. Hopefully we'll get to do a contest like this again, but congrats again to Jed. We'll get that picture to you.
Yes.
Talk of the Town this week is kind of loaded.
It's loaded.
There's a lot of stuff in here. So we'll start with going back to last week. Kyle Collinsworth is named an AP All-American Honorable Mention for the 2nd year in a row. He was on that list with DeMontis Sabonis and Kyle Wilcher.
More
they listed as
accolades
Greg
for
Wilcher.
King Collinsworth. Yeah, jeez. No
which
respect.
is his dad's name. But yeah, so he was on there with both of those guys. So pretty good company there.
Yes, good job, Kyle. Next, sticking with that basketball theme, Jimmer was at the NIT game because it was in New York and he didn't have a game that night, so he was able to make it. He didn't have a BYU shirt, which was kind of unbelievable, but he took a selfie. He was sitting behind the bench, and it's him and the team in their huddle, and it is maybe the best thing Jimmer has ever tweeted. I don't know.
Probably, actually. Yeah. Other huge news this week was that TJ Haws is back.
On the same day as that NIT game, right? Or was it Monday?
It was
Tuesday.
Tuesday before the game.
So he's home, and we have some social highlights from that. What was the first one? This was so cute.
This is from Ralph Haas. His grandfather tweeted, welcome home, Elder Haas, with a picture of his mom and dad and sister at the airport.
Yeah, and then his dad, Marty, also tweeted a really cute pic of TJ and Tiffany. We hope to have Tiffany on the show sometime in this off season. So, cute picture, though.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
10 day for his dad. And then this is interesting, and I think is not surprising of a Haas, but Ralph Haas again says TJ gets his father up early for his first workout after 15 hours about 15 hours after stepping off the off of the plane. Oh my gosh, I can't read tonight. Hashtag gym rat, hashtag junkie. So I don't think that's surprising at all that he's working out hard.
Nope, those Haws, man, no one works harder.
Yeah, and he's got a while to get back in shape. Yep. So we also had Nick Emery who tweeted out, he's back. Picture of him and TJ.
That is the money picture right there. That is a lot of BYU fans' dreams for the past few years fulfilled.
I'm excited for the picture of those two with Eric.
Eric Mika
in about a month.
So. Next month, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then Tyler also posted on his Instagram and Twitter that him and his wife Summer were able to meet up with TJ in France.
Yeah, which is cool.
Before he went home. So he did get to see him before he went back to the States. Yeah. So speaking of missionaries.
Connor Harding, who's a BYU basketball recruit from Idaho. Go Idaho. Was called to the Atlanta, Georgia mission. He leaves June 29th, I think. Yep, June 29th. So that's a little late for basketball, but he'll still have some time to get back in shape when he gets home in 2 years.
Yep, and another mission call we got this week was from football recruit Jackson Kafusi, and he is going to Melbourne, Australia. So a little further than Georgia. Here's hoping he comes back with an accent, but we love our Kafusis.
We love that.
Okay.
Birthday this week, number 21, Jamal Williams, turned 21.
It's his golden birthday.
Yep, pretty exciting.
So
Happy birthday, Jamal.
he, did his Instagram post and, just in typical Jamal fashion. So, yeah. Sticking with football, Nick Kurtz posted to Instagram, and it was from the Y Awards. But Nick said, "We get it, Tanner. You won more than us." And it's a picture of him and Mitch and Tanner. And Tanner has 2 awards, and they have 1. So Tanner does rack up those accolades, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Kyle Collinsworth, I think, also won an award that night. So
yes, King Collinsworth. Okay, what's our athletic director up to this week?
So Tom Homo was down at the Final Four, or was at the Final Four because it's over now, and he tweeted out a picture. It says, "What better place to find a 12-year-old 6'6" LDS hoopster than at the Final Four in Houston? Hashtag always recruiting." It's a picture of this kid.
He's pretty solid.
Yeah,
and he's only 12.
So yeah,
Tom Homo doing work, and then
keep an eye on
him.
He
was at the Final Four, and then he was at the national championship, and it says Dre's and Tom Homo are repping BYU at the national championship game, and it's just this cute kid who is BYU was represented in a BYU shirt at the national championship game. So that was nice. Okay, finally, what do we have?
There's some shirts that are being sold.
Oh yeah,
that are it's a picture of the bracket for this year.
Yeah, they sold the Final Four shirts.
Yeah, 2016 NCAA Men's Final Four. And look, there's BYU right there.
Whoops, didn't change the first 4 in. I tweeted, I said, I guess we did make it after all. Joke's on us. We all thought we had a rough season. Nope, there we are. So Zach Celius, as just a kind of footnote, he is selling his contract at the Village. So if you want to live where Zach Celius has lived, hit him up.
I think he said he'd throw in a pair of short shorts. Pretty sure he said that.
He tweeted today, Monday, and said that it was still available. So, I mean,
somebody snatched that up.
Yes, and then he posted a nice little Instagram summing up the season.
He should sell that to TJ Haws. What is he thinking?
They maybe have other plans. But he posted on his Instagram just kind of end of the season that he was, grateful to play at BYU and that the team changed him. But our comments were the favorite thing about this Instagram post. What did Kyle say?
Kyle says, "You're closer to becoming a dragon than you think. Keep pushing forward."
Because Zach said that he hopes he can become a dragon one day. And then Eli Bryant also commented and said, "No, thank you." So just a little bit of team camaraderie going on there. You love that.
Pretty cute.
Okay, for Coaching from the Couch, we have a special guest with us. This is Ken O'Kelly. He is on Twitter at OKellyKM, so make sure you give him a follow for his hot basketball takes. Let's get to it.
So, talking about the Valpo game, which was last Tuesday, what went right, what went wrong? So, let's start with you, Ken.
Coach O'Kelly.
Coach O'Kelly. Coach O'Kelly, what do you think went right?
Most of the team stayed out of foul trouble. The only person who had more than 3 fouls was Zach Celius.
Which is kind of uncharacteristic.
He gets more fouls when he's playing against tougher opponents because we usually stick him on one of their best players. But that's pretty telling that the rest of our big, like Corbin and Austin, both stayed relatively foul-free.
And you predicted that. Ken actually made predictions for me for most of the games, at least in the latter half of the season, and he said that we would rotate our bigs a lot so they would stay out of foul trouble. So that worked. That was a thing that went right, but it wasn't enough. What else? What else went right?
12 offensive rebounds in the second half, which after halftime, we out-rebounded them by 15.
Didn't we have
3 for the game.
2 offensive rebounds at halftime? 1 maybe?
Not very many.
It was bad.
It was pretty bad. So yeah, we were negative 12 at halftime.
But we fought hard. Moral victory. Did that go right? Can we say that went right?
Sure.
The second half comeback, we put ourselves in a position to win.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, that was nice. I mean, seeing some of these other games in the tournament, even the NCAA tournament, Final Four even, where these teams get down and they just quit.
Yeah.
You know, I was proud of our team for not quitting.
We didn't pull in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Go us.
Okay, let's go to what went wrong. That's pretty much the only things that went right. Coach O'Kelly, we'll start with you.
So Zach Celius, again, he was just kind of the missing X factor for this game.
Y factor?
The missing Y factor for this game. He only shot 1 for 7.
Yeah.
And in addition to the 4 fouls, he could never get into a rhythm.
And I was saying he looked nervous. He didn't look like a freshman all the time this season, but he did in that game. I don't know if he looked like he had freshman jitters, and he made a lot of silly mistakes, a lot of dumb turnovers, went out of bounds with the ball, traveled.
And he wasn't the only one that was doing that.
Nope, no, everyone was.
Yeah, we had 18 turnovers for the game.
Yeah.
And that's a lot.
So we had 16 steals, which we should have mentioned in what went right, but we had 18 turnovers to the 16 steals, so...
Yeah, and a lot of those were at the beginning of the game. We ended up only scoring 10 points in the first 10 minutes and got ourselves into another double-digit hole and had to fight back the rest of the game. So that was great.
How about that wide-open 3 at the end of the game?
Yeah.
Perimeter defense, any defense.
They all just collapsed to the ball.
Yeah, that kind of summed up our season a little bit.
That was a really good encapsulation of that.
Yeah, that we'd let them shoot a wide open 3 with 18 seconds left.
Here's to not doing that next year.
Yeah, I do think at the end of the game we had a poor shot selection by Kyle Collinsworth, unfortunately. And then after the missed free throw at the end of the game, Chase brought the ball down with 4.7 seconds left.
It wasn't an ideal situation. I don't think any of us blamed Chase per se, but it was just
I'm
not.
sure some people do.
That's not what you want, though.
Yeah.
That shot and that setup. You want to be able to inbound the ball, which we didn't have any timeouts. So we wanted to talk about some of the posts we saw from the players and the team from after the game. There was some good stuff on social. The first one came from Kyle Collinsworth, King Collinsworth, so he is done. That was the final game of his career at BYU, and he said, "Thank you for all the love and support. I've learned a lot, and I'm grateful for the opportunity BYU gave me. Journey is just beginning." We hope it is, too. We hope to see him get a shot in the NBA. Who knows?
Same with Chase Fisher. Mm-hmm. I think we might have seen something if he was on social media, but he wasn't.
Yes.
But I think for them, they both had their chances at the end to make something happen. And in a way, I'm kind of glad it came down to the seniors, so they don't have to worry what might have happened if it was them with the ball instead of somebody else. But still a bummer. So do you want to take this one?
From Ryan Cragen, walking to drown my sorrows in Shake Shack custard, and I run into the team. I was talking during the pick. I stink.
So it's cool that he ran into them after the game, and it's funny. I thought it was funny. They're all smiling. They've all got their food.
Yeah.
I mean,
New York's a cool place.
Food makes many things better.
Yeah, Shake Shack custard too. I wish I had some of that after the game.
Okay, this one's hilarious, Jess.
This is from Aubrey Reeves, and she just tweets "Yep" with the picture of Kyle Collinsworth
curled up in the fetal position,
Zach Celius, and then Corbin Kafusi all sleeping at the airport.
I think Zach is like a kind of cute sleeper, but then Kyle just looks completely like dead, and then you've got tired. Corbin with mouth open.
Yeah, it's a long season, and especially when you're playing all the way to the end of March.
Yeah, well, and across the country, it's a lot of traveling. So. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to, we asked Ken, because Ken is a stats guy. We asked him to find a few stats that kind of sum up our season, some stats that are telling about our season. So we'll let him get into that.
So one that I really found interesting was that after every single loss except for one, we shot better than 49% the following game.
Which is
so we rebounded really. I mean, not like actual rebound. We bounced
as
back
a team.
from losses,
we bounced
right?
back from all of our losses, and the exception
Right.
was Santa Clara, the game against Santa Clara in the tournament, where we still won by double digits. So
if only we didn't have to have those losses to bounce back from, and we could have just done that consistently.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
Using the Cougs on Cougs magic number of 18 assists per game as a benchmark, we should have lost 9 more games that we ended up winning throughout the season.
So we didn't hit that 18 assist mark in at least 9 games that we still won.
9 games that we won. So we talk a lot, I feel like, about the team not living up to their potential.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a stat that shows how much potential we have even when we're not playing well as a team.
True.
Yeah.
They're still able to
overcome that somehow.
overcome that with pure talent instead of
Right.
good play.
Right.
And didn't you mention that 2 of those games, one was Gonzaga, one was St. Mary's?
Yes.
So those are good teams that we did that against. So
Yeah. Okay, what else do we have?
And Corbin Kafusi gets a lot of he improved a lot this year. He gets a lot of negative attention.
He does.
Especially since we saw flashes of brilliance at the very beginning of the season, and then
He didn't live
he
up
didn't
to it
live up
necessarily.
to how he played at the very beginning.
he had moments, but the consistency wasn't there.
But across the board, he played better than he did last year. In fewer minutes, he scored more points, higher shooting percentage, more rebounds, more assists, more blocks, and fewer fouls.
So, Puppy Watch, has he graduated to a big dog yet? That is the question.
Maybe not
Give
quite a
him-
big
yeah.
dog, but like
Medium size?
he's a couple months old.
He's an
so
adolescent.
He's not quite a puppy anymore.
Give him another off
Big
season.
dog
and
next
we'll see.
season. Yeah.
But yeah,
we
next
hope.
season with him and Mika together, our center position could look really good.
Well, and a lot of guys thrive with that competition, so I'm hoping with, and even competing for the starting spot between Davis and Dastrup and Corbin and I'm forgetting people, Childs, and there's going to be a lot of competition. Only 2 of them can start, and it'll be great to have that depth, but I hope that Corbin really rises to the occasion instead of having that kind of confidence issue he appeared to have this past season. I think that was a big thing mid-season. He really, I think, kind of peaked towards the end of the season. But anyway, I hope that competition does good things. So, okay, now we wanted to do a special edition of Coaching from the Couch because we were looking back at the whole basketball season, and we put the question out to you guys. We wanted you to tweet us one thing that went right and one thing that went wrong, and we got a lot of really good responses. So who are we going to start with, Jess?
We're going to start with @BigUnclePoo on Twitter, who said Chase Fisher and Chase Fisher. So
Yep.
I don't have a ton of comment on that, but
I think it's fair.
yeah, no, it is, especially, maybe in that last game.
Yeah.
That's what people are going to remember.
He
his
improved a
block
lot.
shot.
I think that his game got a lot more versatile, but his shooting was not always reliable. I mean, no one's shooting is always reliable, but he had some really rough shooting nights. And even against Valpo, he did not have a good shooting night. Ken, what do we have next?
From Justin Hicken, there's no excuse for every player to not be at least a 70% free throw shooter.
Yeah.
And the team, for your team to not be 70% shooting free throws is bad. It's just, I think he's
close
right.
to that.
Yeah.
What did you say? We're 69?
Yeah, we were like 68 to 69% on the year.
Well, I think
As
that
a
percentage
team.
would have made a difference in the Long Beach State game.
Definitely room for improvement.
Would have made a big difference.
in
Like
several games.
Villanova, the new champions, shot 78% for the year. So a full 10% better than we did.
Well, we can aspire to be that. Okay, next we have from Sean Gordon, who is at SRGordon10 on Twitter. He said, what went right was the emergence of the freshman bombers, Emery and Selyust. Yes, I would agree with that. It was a good coming out kind of year for them. Wrong, he said half-court offense struggles and playing down to weak opposition, which I would agree with both of those. Our half-court sets weren't good. when your inbound plays are better than your half-court sets, it's a little weird.
Yeah, that playing down to bad opponents thing really plagued us too.
Yeah, people mention that
Would have been a much different year. Y for Life tweeted to us that freshmen stepped up, but they often had to, which is true. Sometimes senior leadership seemed weak or ineffective.
I think that's kind of been the elephant in the room the whole season, and there's been a lot of controversy about it because we love Chase and Kyle, but there was a disconnect. I think that, I don't know how big of a part it played, but it just, it wasn't the greatest senior leadership we've ever seen.
Yeah, and I think especially the fact that we would win the big games and then lose really against bad opponents right after that.
By single digits. Who's supposed to carry you through those tough games where you're supposed to grind it out?
Yeah.
Anyway.
As much as I love Nate Austin, when he's the vocal leader on the team,
there's a problem.
And not one of your first 6 players, that's going to be an issue.
Okay, what do we got, Ken?
All right. Randy from @Shamo says, good ball movement and improving defense.
Yeah.
Bad couldn't overcome poor shooting nights. Summary, good team lost a lot of close games.
Yep, 7-10 in games decided by single digits. So that's not a good record. It's a bad record. It's nice that the games were that close, but does it matter if you don't win? I mean, it matters, but...
It matters, but it is tough to come out on the losing side of that many close games.
That many, yeah.
But really, a lot of those games, the reason they were close to the end was because we got down big early, fought, came back, and then came up short at the end.
That was definitely another recurring theme in the season.
Including with our final game against Valpo.
We got down early. Okay, this one is from @DYoung, 1993, and it says, good was we didn't get blown out all season, which we kind of just talked about. Yes, there were a lot of single-digit games, but bad was that we had way too many early double-digit deficits, which is literally what we just talked about, so sorry, whoops. Okay, what do we got next?
Yeah, true. This one from Lance W. Archibald on Twitter.
One's crazy.
Yeah, this is really interesting. He says that BYU was 33rd in offensive efficiency and then 48th in defensive efficiency.
Top 50 in both.
Efficient enough to make the NCAA tournament, but not consistent enough, which is true.
If we could have beat St. Mary's and Gonzaga and not gone on to lose, we make the NCAA tournament uncontested, especially with the other weird stuff that happened around college basketball this season.
And everyone knew it. That's why those losses were so devastating, because we knew with the wins, we were on track to get into that tournament, but those losses
But
were
look at that efficiency. So, like we were mentioning before the show, we were so efficient, but we didn't have much to show for it.
True.
Okay, what's next?
But that is an improvement from last year, so that's good.
Yes.
Last one.
Wait, no, we have one more
before
the last one, and it's from BYU Jazzman, and he said good was the rise of Nick Emery, and he said that bad was the post game against good teams, and another bad was playing to the level of their competition. So I think we did struggle in the post a lot. We don't play inside out. We don't.
Yeah, and I think that was definitely a letdown, is that we expected the post play to be so much better this season.
We did.
And we still ended up relying so heavily on our guards again.
Yeah, and we saw glimpses of it when against Utah State and the first half of Virginia Tech, when Kyle Davis took over the game and kept us in Virginia Tech, and
he had a great game against Creighton too.
And it was just, they were glimpses of
flashes of brilliance.
What could have been.
Yeah. I almost wish we wouldn't have seen that, right? No, I'm really glad we did, but it was hard to see the flashes and know that we had that in us, and then to not be consistent with it. Okay, Ken gets our last one.
This one is from Haas P. #Law of Averages.
That's all there is to say about that.
Summary of the season.
Okay, this is usually the part of the show where we say what's next. A whole lot of nothing is what's next.
5 months of nothing.
5 months till football, and then shortly after that we'll get basketball. But what is next is Cougs on Cougs, so make sure you stick with us to get your fix.
All off season.
You know you'll need your fix.
Yeah.
We'll come up with something.
We'll still break down basketball. We still have some things to say about that, and we'll talk about football and
looking ahead. And
there'll be things going on.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we missed a thing in Talk of the Town.
This is from Jeff Goodman, who says that Arizona versus Gonzaga and USC BYU on December 3rd, 2016 at the Staples Center.
That's a good non-conference game.
Yeah, in LA.
Some good Pac-12
I'm totally
WCC action and a good excuse to see 2 great games in one day in LA in December. Get out of Utah.
Hopefully have 2 WCC teams take down 2 Pac-12 teams.
Yeah, bring it. Since the Pac-12 is not as good as anyone thought.
You can take it.
Anyway, okay, who sponsored the show?
Oh man, sponsored by the Salt Lake City Stars for keeping the Gemmer dream alive. Welcome to town.
And to spring ball, which is now over. It's been real. It's been fun. May you always stay loyal to the white and blue. For Jess, I'm Mary. We'll see you next week.